Hey, is this thing on?
So, in the last 48 hours, the president of the United States went 0 for 4 in the courts. Not one case, four. Four separate legal actions, four separate constitutional agreements, four separate guardrails. And the answer came back the same every time. Now, let me show you what that looks like. These four losses. Loss number one, the ballroom. Now, as you know, Trump demolished the east wing of the White House last October. 120 years of history gone. And what he's building in its place is a 90,000 square foot ballroom with private donor money, so there's zero oversight. Now, just for perspective, the entire White House is 55,000 square feet. Now, he's building a ballroom bigger than the White House itself. I mean, the fucking gall. Yesterday, Bush appointee Judge Richard Leon of the U.S. District Court of Washington, D.C. stopped it cold. And here's what he wrote in his ruling, quote, "The President of the United States is a steward of the White House for future generations of first families. He is not, however, the owner." So the guardrail held. The administration, of course, filed an appeal within hours. Loss number two, NPR and PBS. Last May, Trump signed an executive order directing every federal agency to cut off all funding for NPR and PBS. Now, not because it broke the law, but because he didn't personally like their coverage. He said publicly that he would love to defund them because they were, quote, left wing. Our president thinks that Bert and Ernie are fucking Marxists. Unfortunately, a third of PBS Kids staff was laid off. The Corporate for Public Broadcasting, the entity that funneled federal money to public media for over 50 years, shut its doors. More than 100 local stations are expected to close. Yesterday, Obama appointee Judge Randolph Moss of the U.S. District Court for Washington, D.C. permanently blocked the executive order. He called it unconstitutional on its face. He used the term, and it was a legal term, was viewpoint discrimination. The judge wrote, and I'm quoting here, "The First Amendment draws a line which the government may not cross, including the power of the purse to punish, suppress disfavored expression." A Bush judge and an Obama judge. Sounds like the beginning of a joke. Same day, same answer. That guardrail held too. Unfortunately, the damage had already been done. Loss number three, mail-in voting. You know, the thing that Trump did in Florida last month. So Tuesday night, Trump signed an executive order directing the U.S. Postal Service to only send ballots to voters who appear on a citizenship list compiled by the Department of Homeland Security. Now, the Constitution gives states the authority to run elections, not the president, not the DHS, the states. His first executive order on elections was signed in March 2025, and that was already blocked by the courts. He signed the second one anyway. Election law expert David Becker, an executive director of the nonpartisan Center for Elections Innovations and Research, he said it best, and he said, I quote, "He might as well sign an executive order banning gravity." Now, this one hasn't officially been blocked yet, but the guardrail has been tested before and it held. Now for the big one. Loss number four, birthright citizenship. Day one of his second term, Trump signed an executive order declaring that children born in the United States to parents who are either here illegally or temporarily are not considered American citizens. Now, that is a direct challenge to the 14th Amendment, an amendment that was written after the Civil War specifically because the Supreme Court in 1857 in the Dred Scott decision ruled that Black people, enslaved or free, could never be citizens of the United States. Now, the 14th Amendment was that correction. It was ratified in 1868, codified by Congress in 1940, and again in 1952. Every lower court that has seen this executive order has blocked it, every single one. Now, today, the case has reached the Supreme Court, and Trump was there. And I'll have a lot more to say about what that means in a separate post. Now, that guardrail is being tested right now, today, in real time. The ruling is expected by early summer. So Trump stress tested 4 constitutional guardrails in 48 hours, and they held. But there is one guardrail that the courts cannot build, that judges cannot hold, one that only gets stronger or weaker based on what happens this November. You are the 5th guardrail. So vote. Please share this. Send this to as many people as you know. If you're digging this content, I would love it if you liked it. Get the word out there. Thanks.